Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. In this video is a continuation of the last where I put pink on pink in these pendants. I'll link it above if you did not see it. But in this video we are going to test out what happens if we do not allow our Jesmonite to thoroughly cure over 24 hours before adding resin. Let's go. The mould I'm using in this video is the same as the last from Moulds and Shapes. It's an amazing pendant keyring mould. It's got tons of circles, hearts and tag shapes in it. Ideal, and I'm obsessed with the circles and the hearts, so we're going to stick to that. The first thing I'm doing is mixing up my Jesmonite AC100 ratio 1 to 2.5 normal ratio with 2% pigment. You can add up to 2% pigment, and to get a white you really do need to add the 2%. So here is my white. The first two circles that I'm filling up are the ones that are going to be demolded after 30 minutes. All of the other pendants that I'm creating, I'm not going to touch them. I'm going to leave the Jesmonite in the mould to set. I'm not waiting 24 hours. I'm not taking anything out and leaving it 24 hours to fully dry out. I'm leaving them in the mould. And yeah, that is what this whole video was for. So these two here are going to be removed after 30 minutes and split up, so broken up into the shapes that I want them, but all the others, they're just going to be left. I really figured I wanted to just have fun and experiment, and I really love the splash. You all know that I love the splashy designs. So this one here, I'm going for the random lines of Jesmonite splashes. No other way of putting it, really. This one here, I decided to just do Jesmonite at the top of the mould. I really am just trying to be careful here, because even though Jesmonite is not self-leveling, I know that what I put here that you see on the screen, it's not going to move. It's not self-leveling like epoxy resin, so it's not going to pour down into that whole circle and fill the bottom. So I really just want some Jesmonite at the top, and similarly to the one next to it, I'm just putting some Jesmonite at the bottom. Of course, I know at this point that when it comes to pouring the resin in, it will be poured up and over that Jesmonite, because again, there's no way of keeping that Jesmonite totally to the top of the mould, if that makes sense. This one here, ignore it. I didn't like it. I was just going for a circle in the middle, same as the other one. Didn't like it. This one here, I wanted simplicity. I wanted something really striking, like you'd find, I don't know, like on some wall art or something. So I just went for two really simple lines, and that was all. And I know this is voiceover Claire, so you know, hindsight is amazing, and I already know which one is my favorite, but I kind of had a feeling at this point that the two splashes were going to be my favorite. The two on the right I'm leaving empty, because when I split these up they will go into the two on the right. Now this is 30 minutes later. No, it's not. It's 20 minutes later. 20 minutes later, and it was a bit too early to break. It was too early to break, but I went with it anyway. So I took out the rest of that from that one there, and I just kind of gave it a clean up, and this is the result. So this is now 30 minutes after pouring, and it was so soft and squishy, almost like air dry clay. So I shoved it into this one here, which was really interesting for me to see the results. This was not planned. This was just a, what can I quickly do with this squidgy Jesmonite. Literally seconds later it had gone hard and crumbly, and I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I figured I'd squish it in, shove some leaves in there, and just have a little off to the side experiment that's not really related to the video. So because this is the full 30 minutes later, I've been able to demold this one in one piece, which enables me to break it up into the shapes that I want. I really didn't have a plan. I was just going to go half and half, and yeah, keep one half basically. The top half is really hard to get back in the mould, because you can't then get it back over the loop, the little sticky outy bit for the hole. I know what I mean, but yeah, it's hard to save and put back the top half. So again, just a reminder, this is around about 40 minutes after pouring. Jesmonite ideally needs 24 hours to thoroughly cure for all moisture to leave. So yeah, this is why I was really nervous about this experiment. I was toying with the idea of putting bits back into this one, but I ended up not doing it and just leaving it as is. So you might have seen the circles. I didn't like the circles. I removed it and I placed it into this mould to see what happens. But these two here that I'm pointing to right now are the only two that have been broken. The seal between them and the mould has been broken. So I'm going to try and weigh them down with some rocks. And this was my little plan. I couldn't think of anything tiny enough to weigh them down. So I filled up some shot glasses with some rocks, kind of layered them up a bit in the hopes that it will push the Jesmonite down enough to not have the resin seep down underneath. If you saw my last video, you would have seen all the seepage. I kind of liked the seepage, but I know a few people did not like the seepage. But yeah, this is the plan, and I was just hoping at this stage that it would work. So I am going with Azure Blue Alcohol Ink by Let's Resin for all of them. But before I do that, I need to go in with some green for the top right. Again, this was a little side experiment, but I figured there's no way of me not filming it with so I might as well show you all. And if you love this, then I really, you know me, I want to go back down the botanical route so bad. So any excuse to go back down the botanical, I am all about that, and I will be on it. On it. So here we are. I'm just mixing in my alcohol ink. You do need to mix it way more than I've just mixed it on screen. So I do mix it thoroughly off screen. And I'm just pouring in that green clear, that transparent green alcohol ink to the top, and then filling it up with the clear in the hopes that the green doesn't come over the leaves and drown them out. But honestly, so far I was excited about this one. I mean, I was excited about all of it, but you know me, a little bit of botanical, I just absolutely love it. So yeah, could not wait to demold that. For the rest, we are going standard Azure Blue alcohol ink, and I put 5 drops of alcohol ink into this cup of the resin and mixed it utterly thoroughly. You can kind of tell when alcohol ink isn't mixed thoroughly. It's got wispy bits and strings and lines in there, so you just want to make sure that that is all gone before. I mean, do you really? Who cares? I mean, really, who cares? But if you want a clear crystal colour, then yeah, you do. You have to make sure it's gone. So I'm just starting to fill them up now. So this is a reminder that this is less than 1 hour after pouring Jesmonite. If you work with Jesmonite, you know that it is water based. It holds water. It can sweat in the moulds. So this is why I really wanted to test and see what happens. Is it going to sweat? Is it going to release water into the resin? If so, what is that going to look like? What are the results going to be? So yeah, this one here, fully expected that circle, because that is a circle that has been moved and placed. Fully expected that to have the resin seepage underneath, but not the part on the right. So these are the two that I just poured the Jesmonite directly into. Haven't moved them, they haven't been dislodged, and I have not broken that seal. And then I just carried on and filled up all of them, including this one here with the 2 really simple, just simple. Can you tell? Can you kind of tell in my voice that we already know in advance that that was my favourite? This one here, this, oh my gosh, this gave me trouble. I forgot to put my weights down on it. So here I am filling it up quite happily. And then I was like, oh no, my weights. And look, I put them on, moved the whole thing. I was like, what did I do? So now I know that resin is now going to seep underneath, around the edges, and anyway, this is a Claire's Crafty Corner, isn't it? Let's all be honest here. There's nothing nothing is going to go quite to plan. And here I am filling up the hearts. I didn't know how I felt about the hearts at this point. I feel like I put the Jesmonite in the wrong place. I'm very much either at the top or the bottom, not at the sides. Is that weird? Like, my brain is saying, yeah, you should have put the Jesmonite at the bottom or the top, not those edges. So yeah. Anyway, here we are. This is an overview of what they look like. I am so excited about the botanical one. Again, unrelated to the blues, but here we are. This is now 24 hours later, early morning, and look. Honestly, the one here where I put the weights on late and dislodged, and it moved the Jesmonite, and yeah, the resin seeped around and up and yeah, stuck onto my little pot, but it's fine. Here is the demold of the Botanical. I love it. Love it, love it, obsessed, love it. Let me know what you think. I feel like in a way this kind of stole the show because I was like, damn, should have just done loads of Botanical. I'm loving the clean lines. I'm loving the fact that I squished that Jesmonite down into the mould and it didn't seep underneath. So I really loved that. And yeah, here we are. I decided to demould the messy one first. A little bit annoyed because my weights, I put them on too late, as we know, and yeah, the resin caught up with it, but never mind, here we are. I kind of like it. I like the fact that it looks like a downhill ski slope, and yeah, the back is really, really messy, so I just wanted to see if I could get the resin off, and I could, which kind of worried me a little bit because I thought, well, if I can peel that off so easily, what is to stop them all falling apart? But at this stage I didn't want to try it. I didn't want to try and pull them apart and try and break them, so I'm going to leave it another 24 hours and then have a go and see if they break apart, because there's no point in doing this if they do. So this one here I actually thought was going to be my absolute favourite, and I loved it. It was just so abstract. Something about abstract that I really love. This to me looks like someone has gone with a paintbrush and just splattered their walls, or they've got some like blue denim jeans and bleached it. You know how people just like sprinkle bleach over clothes and bleach their clothes? This one was giving me those kind of vibes, so I just had a little bit of a clean up there with my craft knife while I was talking. But love. I absolutely love the fact that it's all come away from the mould, because part of me was expecting, because the Jesmonite hadn't yet cured properly, it was dry enough to take out of the mould, but definitely still had moisture in it. Definitely, after just 30 minutes, had moisture in it. I didn't know what to expect. I was not expecting it to be this crisp, clear, beautiful resin, beautiful edges. This one here got a little bit stuck. I overfilled massively on this one, but got it out happily without damaging the mould, and oh my goodness, hands down my favourite. Of course I know what the rest look like because this is voiceover Claire. I can tell you now this is my favourite, my absolute favourite. I love the simplicity. It is like something out of an art gallery, and that's not me bragging because I can see air holes. Do you know what I mean? It's not perfect, but it's very art gallery-esque. It's very blown glass, wall art-esque. Love it. These are the two hearts. Meh. Not sure how I feel about them. I'm not going to lie. Again, like I said before, I do feel like I should have done the Jesmonite at the top or at the bottom, not the sides. It's bugging me. It's just bugging me a little bit that I've done it at the sides. But what I think would look nice is a little vinyl decal on the blue and then top coated fully in resin. I don't know. In clear, I think that would look really, really pretty. But here we are on another one. A little bit of debris there that I didn't see in the mould, but I did end up scratching it off with my craft blade. So again, because Jesmonite is carvable, you can kind of fix damage on these. You know, you've got a little bit of a luxury there. But this is the one where I pushed down the Jesmonite because when I went to demold too early, it was really soft, so I ended up pushing it back down. And here is the results. I love this one. This one gives me mountain vibes because I did end up going in with a cotton bud, cleaning it up and creating this mountain shape. And it's textured on the top. Where I was pushing and shoving, it created texture underneath, and you can see that texture there. And also some of the resin seeped under. Even with the weights on top, the resin seeped underneath. So this is all lessons being learned, but I love it. Definitely gives me icy mountain vibes. This one here, love the crisp line, the crisp edge. Probably the best result, apart from the splashes. It's the best result out of all of them. But look at this. I still got seepage. I still got some resin seepage, even though this was the one that I poured in and didn't move. So there shouldn't have been any kind of gap between the mould and the Jesmonite, but clearly there was. I must have moved it. It must be human error. This one here, I don't know. RIP is all I'm saying to this one here. I mean, I am most shocked about this one, and I'll tell you why for. Here I am just scraping off the resin. Again, the resin came off the Jesmonite really easy, and bit of a worry. I don't know if it's because the Jesmonite after 24 hours, I don't know. Maybe it did create a moisture layer. But anyway, listen. This one did shock me as well because this is the one that I had a circle. So I didn't like the circle in the mould on its own. I took it out. I placed it into this one. And honestly, it didn't seep underneath. So I don't know if it's because it was just a small piece. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Anyway, here I am just trying to remove the resin seepage and it worked really, really well. I just used my craft blade. Again, this is not showing you how to use a craft blade. Please use your craft blade responsibly. I did end up cutting my glove, so got a little bit of a hole in my glove. Not my hand though, so it's all good. And yeah, came off really easy and then I could just peel it off. So, I don't know. Little bit of deep down, why is that so easy? It shouldn't just peel off like that. It could have something to do with the moisture in the Jesmonite, and it could have something to do with the fact that this is 24 hours later and the resin is still a little bit pliable. Who knows? But we are all here to learn together. Again, I'm still kind of cleaning it up to show you guys what it looks like all cleaned up, because I didn't just want to kind of leave it like that. But here it is. This is the one that really surprised me because, like I was saying, no resin seeped down under that circle. So I was a bit miffed. Note the hole in my glove. I was a bit miffed. Yeah, it kind of looks like a snowman with a bobbly hat and just needs some eyes. But this edge is perfect. Perfect. Not a single bit of resin seeped underneath that circle, and I was most surprised about it. Fully expected full seepage. So I don't know why I got away with it. I don't know if it was just such a small piece of Jesmonite that it sucked really, really well to the mould when I pushed it. But yeah, there's my hole. Hello. Here they are all together and I'm loving them together as a whole. Let me know what you think at this point. So, okay, overview. There were definitely some differences in the way they all came out, but of course we've got the ones that were these two here. So these are the ones where I just got the Jesmonite and splashed it over, creating lines. These were perfect. There was no seepage. The Jesmonite they clung to the mould, and absolutely ideal. Again, was not expecting or knowing how they were going to turn out because of that. This one here and this one here, these were the ones where I poured the Jesmonite in, left it for 20 to 30 minutes, took it out and then broke them up into different shapes and then put them back into the moulds. So yeah, the one on the left never actually left the mould, but the seal was broken. The seal was definitely broken, so there's no clean lines there. So the heart, the circle, this heart and this one were the only four that had lots of Jesmonite poured in and left to sit. We got some seepage on some, and the others were kind of nice clean lines. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts at this point, which ones you like the most. This one surprised me the most because that circle, I was fully expecting it to be completely covered in resin, but not a single drop got underneath. So yeah, overview. Absolute success. So far, I'm going to give it another 24 hours and then try and break one. We shall see then. But narrowing it down to my favourites. Oh my gosh, look at this one. Come on, guys. Tell me you're with me on this one. Superbly beautiful. And it's only there in that light I'm noticing some seepage on that one. That's interesting. I didn't notice it at all on the others. Also, this one here, my denim jeans with bleach splash. Love it. Absolutely love it. The hearts, again, out of the hearts, this one's my favourite, but I'm not feeling the hearts. I'm loving the shape. I'm just not loving the way I put the Jesmonite in. So there we are. Let me know if this has helped you and leave a comment down below. Let me know which one is your favourite and also which colours you would do. Which colour scheme would you go for? And I thank you so much if you have been with me this long. This was a very long video. We are running into the 20-minute mark. Let me know if you have stayed to the end. Leave me a little blue heart in the comment. I'm stealing that one from my boy Mike, Life in New York. Let me know if you've stayed this long and leave me a blue heart. I love them. I hope you love them too. Cannot believe how successful they were, considering that this was pretty wet Jesmonite. After just 40 minutes pouring the resin in, it worked. It really worked. Again, I'm going to test it out. I'm going to leave it in my community tab to let you know how I got on testing it out in another 24 hours to see if they do come apart. That is key, isn't it? Do they come apart? Do they stay together? We shall soon find out. But thank you anyway. We've just reached the 20-minute mark. I really appreciate you all if you have stayed this long. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.